Okay, week 5, Faith Tour recap. Good morning. Today is ceremony day. I always like to wake up and do some sort of like movement or workout or stretching, just like time with myself for like a couple hours in the morning on ceremony day, because it's really important for me to hold my energy, clear my energy, and to just be really present with the moment. So I'm out on a like run walk. That's what my body felt called to do. So ceremony day, we have about 8 people coming to the ceremony. Since you are new here, I do facilitate psychedelic therapy ceremonies with a beautiful team, including our amazing psychedelic therapist, Phoenix White, and we do them all over the country. Today's is in Los Angeles. We use psilocybin, so mushrooms, and take people on a ceremony for the therapeutic side of psychedelics. So not just sitting around and taking mushrooms. It's a whole different experience when you are really intentional with the medicine. It is a plant medicine, so there's a lot of deep healing effects that happen. People come in a lot of pain or curiosity or wanting to heal, and they leave with a full-blown reclamation. So I'm super excited. Just makes me so happy, so fulfilled. And this is this week's faith tour. This is this week's faith tour. I'm not going to have time to go to a place of worship because the ceremony is today and then typically lasts until like 4 p.m. tomorrow. So obviously all the places of worship are technically closed, and this is already a deeply spiritual experience. The reason why I actually started my faith tour is because I only felt alive in 3 places, and one of them was in these ceremonies. And I recognize that why I feel so alive in these ceremonies is because the presence of God is there, and there's so much healing and purpose. And yeah, so that is the jam. And then I'll sit down and do a whole debriefing with you, because that's where all of the nuggets and juiciness comes in. And my intention is to just lead from the purest place of love and to be present with the gifts that God wants to use through me. So just truly being a conduit of God for the healing of these amazing people that are coming to the ceremony. And I really am calling in God this time around, because I know that there's so much magic that He can support me with as a guide, as a facilitator on this journey. So I feel like this one's going to be the most potent. I believe this is my 5th that I've facilitated, and they just get more potent, more juicy, activate more gifts. And I feel like since I haven't done one since I've been on this faith tour and really felt the presence of God. So I'm so excited. I will keep you updated about how this one is different. I'll show you my outfit. Maybe we'll do a little chat while I'm getting ready. And it'll just be pure magic. you saw earlier in the video, I was unable to get to a church, a temple, a mosque, but I did attend a spiritual practice, which was the psilocybin or psychedelic therapy ceremony that we facilitated in Los Angeles. And let me tell you, one of the biggest reasons why I am embarking on this faith tour is, you've heard a lot of them, but if you're new to watching this, you can go back and watch the previous videos. One is because I want to understand how to be a better guide, mentor, coach, facilitator, medicine woman for my clients and for those that I guide and mentor. And ultimately to move the ego aside and allow God's source to move through me, so I could be the best channel, conduit, vessel for those that I'm helping and supporting as part of my mission on this planet during this lifetime. The other piece is to connect with the spiritual masculine, to call in my partner. And then the biggest piece is just to live a life of purpose, pleasure, power, passion, and play, and just feel so in my joy. But going back to the first part, a big reason is so I could be the most clearest channel, conduit, vessel to allow God to work through me to help other people find their liberation, their freedom, their joy, their peace, their passion, their power, their pleasure, their play, all of that, right? So this past weekend, we did a psilocybin psychedelic therapy ceremony, which I've been facilitating now for, I want to say a year, over a year, under a year, something along those lines. I think about a year. This journey, let me tell you, I had one answer given to me, or one question answered, which was, God, how do you speak to me? And I'm going to give you the whole story of this experience because I feel it was so powerful and something that I want you to know about. Let me tell you. The journey that we facilitate is so intentional. It is so powerful, and it is transformative. It's literally a metamorphosis that happens in the span of 24 hours. And then there's integration that allows you to really implement and integrate this into your life. We start the ceremony with like a meet and greet. All of the participants and guests have time to connect with each other and get to know each other and really create that safe space. And then we do a cacao ceremony. And the cacao ceremony is so beautiful to open the heart. The theobromine from the chocolate allows the psilocybin to stick and to continue to move through. And then we do a hape ceremony, which is just shamanic snuff. I actually don't have mine here, but maybe I'll do a little video sitting down and doing my own, or pop one in here. And then the ceremony goes on to be the psychedelic therapy ceremony, the psilocybin, so mushrooms. The journey is always different. It's ever changing. And this one I feel was my most powerful journey as a facilitator. And I'm not going to share the journeyers' journeys for the sake of just privacy and confidentiality, but I'm going to share from my perspective, which was as the medicine started to kick in and the medicine started to flow through my body, I just started to feel all of this pleasure. Like every word that I was speaking before we went into silent ceremony was so pleasurable. I felt my purpose through the activation of my words. And it was truly like one of the most potent experiences that I've held as a facilitator. So the medicine starts to kick in. I start to see all of these beautiful colors behind my eyelids, as if I was watching the movie from TV screen of my eyelids. And as the colors were starting to create these like really industrial pieces that you would see in like a factory or like on a production line, started to like play through, but the silver and the coldness of the production started to turn into like more instrumental notes that combined with music. And so I was starting to see sound as I was connecting with the music and connecting with the medicine, and just really like in that space. The first like 25-30 minutes, everyone's just in their own space because the medicine's still activating and we're activating as facilitators. So I started to feel super connected to like the very subtle beats of the music that was playing. And as I was connected to the subtle beats of the music, I was just like witnessing myself playing instruments. So I was playing like the flute, and then I was playing like the saxophone, and then I was playing the drums. And the message that first came in was play life like an instrument. And so instead of taking life so seriously, can you play life like you would an instrument, which is intuitive, which is creative. It's not always so serious, especially when you're first practicing. You're trying new things. When you're learning a new song, you're playing with the instrument. The instrument becomes one with you. You become one with it, right? And so playing life like an instrument really means to me like not taking life so seriously and allowing life to play through you. If you think about music being like God and the instrument being you, right? God is playing through you as you experience life. And so that really spoke to me. It's like, how can you allow life? Ooh, one of my plants needs watering. How can you allow life to move through you and the music of life to move through you and you being the instrument? And so as this started to continue to activate, I started to see flashes of all my past lives being an experience of different cultures. So I've spoken about this before, but I have witnessed myself being a part of other cultures, being from other cultures in past lives. And then it brought me into a space where I was witnessing myself playing different instruments that were in resonance to that culture as a form of healing for people in past lives. And I've always known that I've had medicine woman and witch vibes in past lives. And I saw that. I saw it again, and it was more embodied. I was in different cultures. I was playing different instruments. I was helping people heal. Like it just all started to make sense. And so I was like, whoa. And then I asked the medicine, what does that mean for modern day now? And then it showed me as a DJ and bringing all of my poetry that I've written up to this point in my life and the poetry that I continue to write into frequencies that are amplifying, that are uplifting, that are for abundance and for safety, and just allowing the frequencies that I create and the lyrics that I create to be created where I'm DJing for conscious festivals. And a lot of the music that we hear, if you actually get down to the nitty-gritty of the frequencies, they're not very uplifting frequencies. A lot of them can have very low vibrational frequencies, which then as you're listening to the music, it's unconsciously going into you. And that's where some music keeps you feeling unsafe, stuck, anxious, depressed, right? And so I saw this, that I'm supposed to be a DJ, I'm supposed to create this music, and I'm supposed to also help people heal through the music, right? So as the night went on, I was just activated in my gifts, which are very hands-on. I know that the next evolution of my work is to really work with like tissue manipulation and fascial release and somatic releasing in person, and really utilizing my hands. I've been always shown through breathwork, medicine ceremonies, that I have healing hands. And Reiki never felt like that's what I was supposed to be doing. It was more so this, which is utilizing my hands to work with the body and the tissues and the movement to move trauma through the body. And then as I started to really deepen into this, I witnessed that I'm supposed to play the body like an instrument, where a musician's instrument is very sacred. A musician's instrument, they play very intuitive. Yes, it takes time to learn the song and it takes time to understand the instrument, but once there's that actualized aspect of being a musician, most of it is intuitive. Most of it comes second nature. Playing the body like an instrument is that I used to see on people's bodies where they would store their trauma. And then I used to be told, like, go push on this person's da-da-da-da-da to activate this, right? Or just go push on this person or massage this area of this person and let it, like, see what happens. And so as I did that, my gifts this time were actually very intuitive. I didn't need to hear it. I didn't need to see it. I just knew where they were storing their trauma, their wounds, their pain. I could feel the frequency of nervous system dysregulation. I could hear where their body needed tune up. So I ultimately became a musician of the body. So a somatic musician, which is what I'm going to end up calling myself, right? So that was really epic. And the way that people were healing was so different. And the way I was intuitively playing their body was so different, but so freaking powerful. And ultimately, that's like the biggest takeaway with the aspect of my healing gifts and why I'm here. And it was really cool to just witness like God move through me and for me to be a conduit. Like I didn't have to think anymore about it. I was just intuitively moving the way that I was being instructed to move without having to know why. And it was always right every single time. So there became a point in this ceremony where I walked over to these two trees that I had already connected with before the ceremony. And I stood up and I looked at them and I felt God. I felt God's presence. I felt, ooh, I'm getting even watery eyes. Like I just felt that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And that God speaks to me in such a unique language. And so I asked God, like, how do you speak to me? And God responded back in Technicolor. And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. So I just kind of took note of it. I didn't really even know what it meant. And then my gosh, it was so powerful. So the ceremony like allowed me to really be activated in those gifts. I had a few things that came up that I worked through pretty beautifully. There was so much healing, so much presence, so much love for the people that were there, the guests that were there, that were doing the work. And again, I'm not going to share their experiences on here for the sake of the confidentiality of their experiences, but there was a lot of reclamation, a lot of remembrance of their spiritual gifts, a lot of connection to source, to the stars, a lot of beautiful star seeds, and a lot of just seeing themselves. So that's like the gist of what I'm going to say. I love this work. I didn't even, like, I've been called into this work. I could never have sought it out. I never sought it out. I was just asked to come into this work, and it's like with the highest honor, and I hold it with the deepest gratitude that I don't take it lightly. If you are watching this and you are interested in journeying with mushrooms, it's not your let's just sit and have a like a trip, right? This is so much different. It's sacred ceremony. When you're in sacred ceremony with mushrooms, it's deeply healing. You're held through the deepest trauma. You're ignited into your biggest purpose. You see yourself in ways you've never seen yourself before because you feel safe, because there's facilitators there to guide you into spaces that you wouldn't be able to go yourself. And so even if you are experienced with mushrooms or not experienced with mushrooms, I definitely recommend that you look into journeying with psilocybin in a sacred ceremony setting. And I promise you it'll be 10 times through 180 difference than when you try to journey with yourself. So the journey came to an end, and it was so powerful. And the next day, I'm sitting outside, I'm integrating, I'm journaling, I'm breathing, I'm meditating, connecting with source. And I see this beautiful, teensy tiny little baby parrot sitting on one of the like phone lines. And it was like rainbow, and the bird was like talking to me. And I felt like, because it was rainbow, Technicolor is bringing color to life, that God was sitting there talking to me, being like, yeah, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And it was on, I think it was on Sunday or Monday, but I was just like, wow, like I felt so deeply connected to God. And this is why I've embarked on this journey, is because there's been a space in time where I haven't felt that way, where like I've been questioning, who's God? Are you there listening? And I truly feel like God has me. And there's been so many experiences where I've been proven God has you. Like, you can relax, you can surrender, you can open, you can flow. Like, I used to like be so tight and controlled and trying to control every outcome. I was so calculated in my life that everything that I wanted to accomplish and set out to accomplish, I basically did. And I always knew what the next step was. I always knew what was coming next. And ultimately, like, I feel like I'm in a space where I'm sitting on an island and I see the island to where I want to go, but I'm waiting for the boat to come to take me there. Week 5, I feel that there's been an amplification of God's presence. The biggest thing that I've heard this entire time is God will never insert himself without your will, without your ask, right? And so when I was saying God's not here, I don't feel God, hello, do you hear me? It's because I wasn't actually embarking on a quest or an odyssey to meet him or to open him to penetrate my life, right? The masculine to be the guide, to be the space holder, to be the structure of life so my feminine can frolic freely. So I've been praying a lot for miracles in my business and with love life. And while there's been a few things that have come to fruition, I feel that this space is me just deepening my relationship with God. And this weekend's journey was just a beautiful reminder that, like, you're doing it. You're on your path. You're clear. Like, I'm so clear I'm on the right path. I'm not questioning it anymore. Even though there's challenge and hardship, like, I don't have to question. I know that it's all training me for the better and greater good. So, yay. Stay tuned for next week. We will embark on a journey to a Buddhist temple, and I will share my experience with that. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching and embarking with me on this journey and just allowing me to express raw and real and share all of these unedited, raw experiences with my faith tour, and just allowing me to, not allowing me because I'm going to do it anyways, but you know what I mean. Just being open to this journey where I'm exploring. So, yay!